Nigerian is strategically reviewing its operational environment and mapping out modalities to stay afloat in the dynamic and competitive digital technological space. President Muhammadu Buhari reunites with his old schoolmates at his home country in Daura. Also, we have a special report on right attitude towards elections. This and more will bring to you shortly on Panorama. Welcome. I'm Ruth Aguere. Let's begin by telling you that President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated Xi Jinping on his re-election for a third five-year term as President and Chairman of the Central Military Commission of the People's Republic of China. In a statement by his Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, the President says, under the leadership of President Xi, relations between China and Nigeria have expanded rapidly on bilateral trade and strategic cooperation. The President trusts that the future outlook of this strategic partnership with China will continue to blossom in leaps and bounds in the areas of military, politics, trade, finance, oil and gas relations, as well as cooperation in the telecommunications, agriculture, infrastructural development and manufacturing sectors. President Buhari wishes the government and people of China continued peace, progress and prosperity. Well, it was a remarkable feeling of nostalgia as President Muhammadu Buhari this Sunday had a reunion with his old schoolmates at his Daura country home. Let's get details now from State House correspondent Adam Musambo.
It was an exciting moment that brought back fond memories between President Muhammadu Buhari and his old schoolmates. The meeting provided the opportunity to thank Allah for sparing their lives to meet once again. Members of the group, under the auspices of the Association of 1953 Middle School Intake, were 96 at formation, but only about one quarter of them are now surviving. The latest among those that passed away was Senator Abba Ali, a friend and decades-long associate of the president. Until his demise, Senator Abba Ali was chairman, National Governing Council of the African Peer Review Mechanism. President Buhari and his guests prayed for the repose of his soul and those of the others that died between the last time they met and now. The Nigerian leader inquired about each other's health and well-being as well as their family members. He expressed joy and happiness for the meeting, saying he got the same feeling that he used to have when they were young. They chatted for a while, talked about the school days and shared a lot of memories. The president thanked the schoolmates for their respect and feelings for him, which they have retained all these years. Members of the delegation took turns during the closed-door engagement to appreciate President Buhari for his selflessness in service, sacrifice for Nigeria, and the giant strides achieved in critical economic sectors, which they say will remain indelible in the minds of Nigerians. From Daura, Katsina State, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
The saying that no election should be a do-or-die affair, but a platform for healthy competition, seems to be losing its vital meaning among some Nigerians, as seen after the first lap of the 2023 general elections. Well, this is because the once cordial relationship among people is now being threatened by political differences, ideology, and even religion. In this special report, Michael Olale sought people's opinion on the right attitude to elections as Nigerians prepare for governorship and state houses of assembly polls.
It is the electioneering season and a time when opinions invariably differ and usually divided either in favor or against a particular party or individuals. From the electorate, however, healthy debate devoid of provocation is expected to be the norms, but the emotion put into the 2023 general elections is making some people to cross the caution lines. Baffled by this trend, I met with Simon Okoro, a medical practitioner, who shared same sentiments.
He
narrates a scenario on a social media group platform and how issues revolving around the election almost tore the membership apart.
It was very explosive until the admin had to ban all forms of political discussion on the platform for temper to cool down. Then after that, there was a kind of, appeal that what we are ultimately striving to achieve is the progress of Nigeria, irrespective of whichever tribe that each person belongs to.
The social media seems to be the active force for driving these sentiments, with some users supporting their opinions with religious claim and ethnicity.
Don't allow yourself to be used to truncate proper, sane processes.
In the face of this ugly scenario, what then should be the role of the citizens in entrenching peaceful atmosphere?
Election is not do or die. It doesn't matter whether the person is a Muslim or a Christian or other religion. As long as Nigerian come, we think Nigeria. We need to begin to reorientate our people's mind to think Nigeria. Nigeria first, before any other thing.
Stakeholders in the Nigeria project want the citizens not to allow issues like election divide their common aspiration for a prosperous and virile nation. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NTA News.
Political activities must be based on issues that affect the socio-economic well-being of any given society, rather than promoting ethnic sentiments capable of disuniting the populace. Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Benga Omotosho, stated this at a media interactive forum in Lagos. Let's hear from Musa Toliet.
The Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Benga Omotosho, stressed that there was no ethnic clause required when the Independent National Electoral Commission gave the nod for the registration of political parties in the country. He therefore took a swipe at some politicians who are playing tribal cards to whip up sentiments ahead of the governorship election.
For anybody to come and put infrastructure in place for about 25 million people, to come and see how 25 million people can continue to cohabit as brothers and sisters, and to make them proud to be called Lagosians.
Mr. Motosho also set the record straight on the operation of the Blue Line rail system, while expressing confidence that the All Progressives Congress will surmount the challenges identified during the presidential election when the governorship and state elections get underway on Saturday 18 this year.
If it's not ready, it's not going to be commissioned now. It's been commissioned. Even you will remember that before the president came, when we finished the infrastructure, everything that when we put the bolts and nuts together, we called you guys to come and see, and we said we were celebrating the completion of the infrastructure.
The commissioner hinted that security has been intensified to curb any form of violence aimed at disrupting the forthcoming elections across the metropolis. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
Away from politics, workforce of the Nigerian communications satellite NIGCOMSAT is strategically reviewing its operational environment and mapping out modalities to stay afloat in the dynamic and competitive digital technological space, especially now that the days of Nigeria's existing communications satellite NIGCOMSAT 1R are in numbers and other countries. In this fourth industrial revolution, where reliance on ICT is heightened, and countries as well as companies that launch communications satellite are cashing out from the digital economy, NIGCOMSAT is realigning its vision and mission with current realities.
We already have plans for a replacement satellite. We're currently reviewing, we have consultants working with us on the best business model to adopt for the deployment of the replacement satellite. And I assure you, by the time 1R comes to end of life, which is still a little, it has some useful life left, we would have a replacement satellite that will be able to either directly or in partnership with other international providers.
NIGCOMSAT has been sitting on a gold mine, but we have been scratching the surface all the time. We want to now dig down, look at our infrastructure, what issues we have, what relationship we have with the builders of the satellite company, understand issues that has to do with ground control, and also other social license to operate. That's another pillar. We're looking at that. We're looking at health and safety. We're looking at sustainability.
Now, the new vibe is based on teamwork and customer satisfaction. The federal government's ratification of the Budapest Convention on Cybercrime, an international legal instrument, is geared towards curbing the activities of cyber criminals. In this report, Olabode Arewa examines this and other legal frameworks in place to ensure safe use of the cyberspace for Nigerians.
A typical empowerment is this training for the youths on ICT. Such knowledge-enhancing programs, which are commonplace all over the country, serve to rightly position beneficiaries to utilize such skills. However, an emerging trend is the use of the computer and social media tools to engage in cyber fraud or even propagate hate speech. Statistics by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission indicates that at least 80% of the convictions it recorded in 2021 and 2022 were cyber crimes related. Under the Cybercrimes Prohibition and Prevention Act of 2015, use of the cyberspace for sending offensive materials to anyone, defrauding, hacking, otherwise called Yahoo Yahoo, as well as cyber stalking, constitute grounds for such offenders to be prosecuted.
There are circumstances under which you spread fake news and you will be criminally liable. In criminal law, there's something we call injurious falsehood. There is also something we call telling lies to a public officer. So it depends on what you said and who you said it to. That will determine whether you are criminally liable or not. But generally, when you tell a lie or impute falsity to any human being, and that your imputation injures him in his credibility and reputation, you are liable in civil proceeding. There are certain things you say under the Cyber Act, and you spread that falsehood. You go to prison for it. You go to prison without option of a fine, once you have tried under the Cyber Act. But if you don't come, and that's why I told you, what you said must offend a particular section of a particular law. You know, in criminal law in Nigeria, you can't be punished unless what you have done is against a written law.
We need to know the background that necessitated the promulgation of the Cybercrime Act in the first place. And so you see, the world is, we are in a global village now, and so there is therefore a need to regulate social media activities, different activities being committed on the social media. That was the basis why the Cybercrime Act Prohibition Act 2015 was established in the first place in order to regulate these activities. Now, like you said, you see, election is coming, and people will throw tantrums and banters with each other. What we'll be saying is that, well, when you made a post on the social media, for instance, the law is that every person take the natural consequences of his act. You are liable for the post or whatever. But regarding fake news emanating from different parties, politicians here and there, we need to take cognizance of the law of defamation, either slanders or libel. So, and what does that mean? When you make a publication of whatever sort that result in demeaning or belittling a particular person's reputation before the right-thinking members of the society, you are liable for defamation.
Experts in social communications have identified the damage done by disseminators of fake news to the peace and progress of the Nigerian society and even individuals. They believe that while enforcing the Cybercrimes Prohibition and Prevention Act could be useful in reducing the spread of unverified information, it should not be a tool for information censorship. Already, the National Cyber Security Policy put in place in 2021 by anti-graft agencies in the country are already yielding positive results with the frequent arrest of suspected cyber criminals. In Abuja, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
All right, let's go on a break. We're back. Please stay tuned.
The Nigerian electoral system is seemingly simple, yet may be complicated for some.
It's for them to come and tell us what they have.
Running an election is equivalent to what? A job application.
I want them to identify the issues that may plaguing the common Nigerians.
PDP should focus on PDP and APC should focus on APC.
Let's show you what an election is all about as Nigerians pick the next president, governors and legislators. We interrogate their plans, question the rationale and review the prospects. Join us on the ballot.
Welcome back. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency says the 2023 rainy season has commenced and warns that the season will be accompanied by thunderstorms and hazardous weather condition. Musa Babaliu reports.
The first rain that dropped in Abuja was on 25th February this year. Since then, there has been frequent rainfalls not only in Abuja but in parts of Niger, Kaduna, Nasarawa and Kogi states. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency described the rain in the month of February in the north-central state as pre-onset. However, the season has commenced in coastal states.
The season is expected to range from 84 to 283 days. Abuja and surrounding states are expected to witness between 170 to 230 days of rain.
The agency cautioned that the season will be accompanied by thunderstorms, turbulence, lightning strike, strong winds and heavy rainfall.
Our main mandate is to produce the forecast and the relay, and then we have also other enabling agencies. That is their own mandate to now translate this information into and then also get it implemented at the grassroots level.
NIMET said the weather condition could pose significant threats to the safety of lives and property and could also affect aviation industry. Consequently, NIMET assured pilots and airport users that it has installed weather monitoring systems and thunder detectors across the airport nationwide as a measure to mitigate the effects of thunderstorms on the aviation industry. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The deployment by the National Emergency Management Agency (NEMA) of immediate relief items to the victims of fire disaster in Malamawa and Karangia villages in Jigawa State has been described as a major sense of responsibility exhibited by the agency and the relentless effort of the state government, which always ensures that the people get the right support, says the Deputy Governor Umar Namadi, who received the items on behalf of the state government. Eliasu Ali Yakubu reports.
Nigeria is one of the many countries in the world that has been battling with the management of disasters, especially flood, fire and building collapse. The failed management of these Herculean tasks is not unconnected to the lack of responsive intervention from the first respondent, ranging from state, local and community levels. Although the Jigawa State Deputy Governor Umar Namadi, who is also the APC governorship candidate, stands out in demonstrating capacity and commitment in making sure that his people get the immediate support whenever disaster occurs. In the case of the recent fire disaster that hit communities of Malamawa and Karangia in Kiawa local government area of the state, the people were adequately supported by both the state and the federal government through NEMA.
Today, the DG NEMA is here with us. He has brought a lot of relief to these people.
The victims thank both the state and federal government for the immediate support and however express confidence with the intervening spirit of Umar Namadi. Director General National Emergency Management Agency NEMA Mustafa Habib Ahmed, who presented the relief to the affected victims, commiserated with the government and people of Jigawa State.
The situation is terrible. More than half of the town, you have gone around with us to see, has totally been destroyed. People have lost their houses, their belongings, and everything you can think of.
Items delivered included mattresses, clothing, building materials, as well as food items, among other support. From Kiawa local government area of Jigawa State, Ilyasu Aliyakubu, NTA News.
The Ogun State Police Command has arrested 5 members of a ritualist gang who have allegedly been exhuming corpses from graves and removing their parts for ritual purposes. A statement by the police public relations officer in Ogun State, Abimbola Oyeyemi, explains that the suspects were arrested following an information received by the police at Odogbolu Divisional Headquarters that a gang who are allegedly responsible for a series of corpse exhumation within Ososa community were planning to carry out another round of human parts harvest. Police says on interrogation the suspects made confessional statements that they are into the business of exhuming corpses from graves and sell to buyers who need them for money rituals and parts. In the meantime, the Ogun State Commissioner of Police, Frank Umba, has directed that the suspects be transferred to the State Criminal Investigation Department for discreet investigation. A 26-year-old suspected drug trafficker, Alayi Madu, has been arrested with 10 kilograms of skunk. The suspect, believed to be a former Boko Haram fighter for 15 years, was arrested by NDLEA operatives along Abuja-Kaduna Express Road during a sting operation. In the same vein, 3 cannabis farms measuring 39.8 hectares have been destroyed in Kajola, a border town between Edo and Ondo State. A suspected traditional ruler, Akinola Adebayo, was arrested in connection with culturing of the illicit substance. Meanwhile, the week-long operation saw the arrest of 35 orders over alleged trafficking of more than 2.2 tons of illicit drugs at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, and 12 other states. Sports update is next.